What's going on, guys? So quick preface on the video. Today we're going to be talking about air fuel tubes, and specifically the signs and symptoms of a clogged air fuel tube and how to fix it. What's going on, guys? So today we have a couple Coleman 220s. So let me show you the part number here. So model 220F, and these are older lanterns. All right, so here's the bottom. 72 is when this one was made. This other one is pretty much the same era. So I just wanted to show you guys what's going on, and basically we'll cut to the chase here. So these things were putting out air only through the generator. So you guys might want to brush up on some of your terminology, and I will admit I am not an expert. So I'm not the best with the terminology either, but this is a generator, and when you pump this thing up, open the valve, you're supposed to hear a little bit of air and a little bit of gurgling. So it should actually be more of a spitting sound and not a gurgling sound. So this is what you're listening for. So if you hear that, your lantern is working properly. If you only hear air, then your fuel air tube is clogged in one way or another. One caveat to this is to just keep in mind, if your lantern's been sitting around for a while, there's a possibility that the fuel has evaporated from the valve up. So in some cases, all you need to do is pump your lantern up, open the valve, and wait a few minutes for the system to fill up with fuel, and then you'll start hearing the spitting. Well, the problem with mine was it had no fuel getting up to here. So what you're going to hear is just basically hissing. And your tank will empty of air very quickly. So that's another symptom, but basically just air hissing. You don't get that typical Coleman lantern sound. So that's what you want to hear. So if your lantern is starving for fuel, meaning it's only picking up air, the issue is unfortunately down in your tank. So at this point, you guys are probably wondering, what do you need to do to tear into your lantern? Well, luckily, there's a guy called Old Town Coleman on YouTube. His name is Frank. He's got a lot of great videos. There's 2 videos that you guys need to watch to fully understand your lantern and also understand how to work on it. So number 1, he's got a great video series on fully disassembling and reassembling a 2-mantle Coleman lantern. The second video series that you guys need to watch is the theory of operation on how all of these old gas appliances work. Once you watch those 2 series, you'll have a full understanding of how everything works and also how it comes apart. Once you have that under your belt, it will be a whole lot easier to understand and work on your Coleman lantern. So I was able to figure out that my fuel air tube was clogged on my own, but I had no idea how to get it apart. So that's when I stumbled upon Old Town Coleman on YouTube, and I've of course watched his video series on how to disassemble a 2-mantle lantern, and it made it so much easier to tear into my lantern. So if you guys are looking for specifics on how to disassemble your 2-mantle lantern, go check his YouTube channel out. And now I'm going to show you guys the fuel air tube out of my lantern, and this was the part that was clogged up, and this is what needed cleaned up to get my lantern working again. This is the pickup tube here. That's what I'm going to call it. Like I said, I'm not the best with this stuff. So anyways, it's got this little needle in there, and the spring goes on the needle. So it's as simple as this. I'm pretty sure this is kind of just like the pricker needle, just down in the bottom of the tank. So as you guys can see, the spring goes in there first, and then this thing, and right down here at the bottom, hopefully you guys can see that. Yep. And there's still some green stuff on the tip there. Yeah, so this thing was completely green, the pickup tube, from corrosion over the years. So the pickup tube basically just screws up into the bottom of here. So hopefully you guys can see that. It's not too complicated, but just slightly annoying to get out. So really the only things I've taken apart on this, or that you have to take apart, is basically you just need to unscrew the whole top piece from the tank in order to get to this. So hopefully things work out for you guys. In my case, I was not able to get this off of here at all. I took the screw out, I heated it up, which helped a lot. But in the end, the whole thing came off the top of the tank. So the whole valve, I guess. So this part right here with the shiny threads, that threads right onto the tank. So it made things easy for me because I didn't have to take this off. So, and also, on the first lantern I did, I was trying to get this aluminum piece off, and now I have to buy a new gasket for this, or whatever you want to call that in there. It's a graphite bushing, I guess they call it, for the valve. Anyways, that's $12 no matter how you cut it. So this is a whole lantern here, and it needs that bushing. So if you avoid taking all of this apart except for unscrewing the whole thing off of the tank, you avoid all that. So that's what I did on this second one. I just unscrewed the whole thing off. You take this off of here and basically just clean the green stuff out of here, and that should get you going. I do have this thing clamped in the press here, so I don't really have a big enough clamp for this. So this is one way that you guys can do this at home as well. Make it nice and easy for you. So with that being said, quick little recap on the video. Basically, unscrew from the tank the whole thing, and then take off the pickup tube with that long pricker needle that I showed you, and just clean that out. And as you guys can see, here's some remnants of pulling that thing out. I mean, it had probably 1/16 of an inch of green stuff all the way around it before I cleaned it up. So one more time, the symptoms: when you pump this thing up and turn it on, you get air and no gas. So quick way to tell if your fuel air tube is clogged or not: crack your valve open. If you're only getting air, turn it on its side or upside down. If it starts spitting when it's on its side or upside down, that means your fuel air tube is clogged. Keep in mind, this is what we're talking about when we say spitting. So basically, your lantern begins spitting whenever it gets fuel. So if it's sitting in an upright position and you're getting nothing but air, your fuel air tube is clogged. Now, if you turn the lantern on its side or upside down and it begins to get fuel, it will start spitting, and that will tell you that your air fuel tube is clogged. And I'll be explaining more about the air fuel tube itself and why the lantern gets fuel when you turn it on its side or tip it upside down. So you guys may be asking, why does the lantern pick up fuel when you tip it on its side or upside down? To understand that, we're looking at a fuel air tube here. So my index finger is at the top of the fuel air tube. The other end is the bottom. So the top of the air fuel tube, where my index finger is at the top of the tank, and the other end is at the bottom of the tank where all the fuel sits. If you look closely, there are two holes. So one hole is meant for vapor and one hole is meant for liquid fuel. So as you can see here, the hole nearest to my thumb is the fuel vapor hole. It's towards the top of the tank, and when your lantern is sitting upright, the only thing that passes through that hole is fuel vapor. On the other end of the fuel air tube is the hole that picks up liquid fuel. So when we're talking about a clogged air fuel tube, we're talking about the bottom hole being clogged. Now remember, when that bottom hole is clogged, the lantern cannot pick up fuel when it's sitting in its upright position. To help you guys visualize this, imagine this water bottle is a fuel tank on a Coleman lantern. And imagine that this black drawing on here is your fuel tube. This would be the top, this would be the bottom. These are the threads, and this is the vapor hole. And there's another hole in the end of the fuel air tube. When the lantern's in the upright position, the fuel air tube picks up fuel from the bottom of the tank. Now the issue is, if you have a clogged air fuel tube, it will not pick up fuel from the bottom of the tank. If the fuel air tube is clogged at the bottom, the only thing you're going to be getting is air and some fuel vapor. So by simply turning the lantern on its side or upside down, essentially this hole is clogged, so it doesn't matter anymore. But what you're doing is you're sending fuel through the vapor hole on the air fuel tube. So hopefully this demonstration helps you guys out. So it's the same thing with a lantern. Liquid is going to follow gravity. When you turn this lantern upside down, guess what? It's going to look just like this water bottle here. So fuel, instead of going in where it's supposed to go in, is going to go in through the vapor hole. And that's why your lantern picks up fuel when you turn it on its side or upside down. So that's pretty much going to wrap this video up. Now, I just wanted to close this out by saying that I understand a lot of this stuff was probably oversimplified, but keep in mind there are other people out there that are just beginning and trying to understand this stuff, and it helps to have a full explanation. So even though you probably already knew what I was going to say before I said it, just keep in mind there are other people that need that full explanation. Anyways, hopefully this video helped you guys out. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and learned something. And if you did, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out that description box below. I'm going to have more Coleman videos linked down there, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.